Welcome back to This Morning. We are live with you all the way till 12:30.
We certainly are now, when brother and sister Steve and Suzie Fletcher agreed to lend their make-do and mend skills to a brand-new TV show. They had no idea that the repair shop would quickly become a modern classic.
Hasn't it, though? And the show that's guaranteed to tug on our heartstrings is back for a new series, and so is a talented team of craftsmen and women who can turn their hand to anything. Take a look.
So the first thing I'm going to do is take it apart and see just how much repair work I've got to do to the mechanism.
I've never heard of caterpillars liking to eat leather, but maybe it was a particularly hungry caterpillar.
The first thing I'm going to do is just straighten the teeth on the escape wheel. They really are very, very bent.
I've got to get the leather supported. It's going to be so fragile, it's just going to break away.
I really like this clock. It's so 60s. It's been held together with tape that's just disintegrated.
Whoa.
It's not a straightforward case.
You sound like a detective. You are a detective. And Suzie, the repair shop's leather expert and Steve, resident horologist.
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Who just happened to be brother and sister. Join us now. Welcome.
Well,
Hello. Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
It's such a lovely show, isn't it? It's just one of those shows, especially, it gets your emotions going, you know, it's a real tearjerker. But it must be an absolute pleasure working alongside one of your siblings, well, your lovely sibling, Suzie.
Well, it's
Steve.
OK.
Classic sibling answer as well, isn't it?
I'm very proud.
Remind us how the whole thing came about with both of you being involved.
Yeah, I mean, I got an email that I thought was a scam to start with, and my partner, Mel, she looked into it and said, no, all the phone numbers way up and everything, and so I answered it. Then, bish, bash, bosh, a few weeks later, I was on the show.
And then how did you get involved?
Well, Steve was Skyping me while I was in America, and I was just like, he's having such a good time. And eventually I said, well, if ever they need somebody that works on leather, and he said, well, actually, they do.
Yeah.
And then the ball started to roll.
Were you doing leather work over there in the States?
Yeah, I'm a master saddle maker, so I was in the States making saddles.
Yeah.
Well, she's got one of her saddles here today. When did you make that saddle? It's beautiful.
Yeah, so I made this over the Christmas break, and I needed a new saddle for me and my horse, so...
Oh, it's incredible. Have you seen the workmanship on that? It's unbelievable. What's it like working with RJ, Steve? Because I watch it all the time. I love him so much. I actually thought it was in Jay's house. I did. I thought it was in his garden.
No, until 5 seconds ago.
I didn't realise it wasn't.
No. It's on the Wealdon Downs Museum site. And working with Jay is just fantastic. He has such a natural way with people. And if we're nervous or upset about anything, he's the perfect person to be there with you.
So what's your family story? So did it come from your mother and father, your interest in restoration?
Yeah.
And was it horology originally from your mum or dad?
So my grandfather was a clock and watchmaker. My father was a watchmaker, and I was never going to do it. But you get to an age of 16, and when you don't know what to do, I thought, oh, well, I might as well go into the family
business.
trade. Yeah. And I've been doing it ever since.
And what about you, Suzie?
Well, I mean, Mum was particularly artistic, and she was able to design and make anything. And then with Dad's practicalities, I grew up with this massive love of horses and very quickly found that there was this wonderful material called leather, and you could do so much. And so I made my first saddle for my Cindy horse, and then found out you can actually go into a career making saddles. And
like,
so...
what humans want them as well as these. All right, then.
We've got a lovely picture of you, actually, growing up. Here it is. Look at that.
no.
You as a baby, Suzie. Absolutely lovely.
She doesn't look overly happy with that squeeze you're giving her there, Steve.
Was that a true smile?
I can't believe you've actually had... Have you had King Charles in there as well?
We have,
What did he need doing?
So we were doing some restoration for one of the houses in Scotland.
Yeah.
He was a great part of the show. I mean, what a lovely guy, natural guy, and he is so into to heritage crafts and making sure that they don't die.
That's what it's about, really.
Exactly, yeah.
And obviously working with well, at the time, was he the prince at the time?
He was the prince.
He was prince at the time. I mean, do you still get the same amount of pressure, or do you feel nervous doing anybody's restoration, or does it ease off a little bit when you just know, oh, I've got this, I can smash this one?
Yeah, we do get a bit nervous when we're really up against a problem. But with the king, there were added nerves as well.
Added pressure.
Yes.
I can imagine as well that the pressure must come from, A, the time and also the challenge. So some things you must look at and go, I know what I can do here.
Well,
whereas some things require probably more of a deep dive, don't they?
Yeah, I think the problem is when you think it's going to go a certain way, but actually once you start it and it all falls apart and you have to change on the fly, and you've still got to get it done in a certain period of time. But it's unique. This is a one-off. You will never find another piece that means this much.
The show's so important because there's a commonality. If everyone's got something that means something to them, and you go on the journey with you guys, you go on the journey with the people that are waiting for it.
Let's have a look.
What's actually wrong with these scales?
There's pieces missing of the wood.
OK.
In this wee drawer here, there's a wee box in here with all wee tiny, tiny weights in it.
Does it open the drawer?
But it's stuck.
That is really jammed in there.
Nasty.
This is really teasing me now.
You're going to have to relax.
Because I want to see these weights, because they must be so minuscule.
They are. It'd be fantastic to see it actually weighing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I can't wait to get started on it, actually.
And get the drawer open.
And get the drawer open.
Get the drawer open, that's the thing, yeah, I know.
Oh, I can't wait for this new series. It's really exciting. We should ask for some tips, really. Suzie, obviously, I've got this lovely leather sofa at home. Have you got any tips on leather, keeping it nice?
Well, definitely when you buy something of leather, you need to find out what it is that you've bought and ask either the shop or the company how to look after it, because they'll often have products specifically for that piece. And then make sure it's kept dry, make sure it's not exposed to the sunshine, which leather furniture can. And if it does get any contaminant on it, quickly know what to do. And the company should have forewarned you, what to do.
Nice.
And what about you, Steve? What about watches and clocks? What would be your top tips?
Get them regularly serviced, because they're like any mechanical thing. You wouldn't drive a car for forever without having it serviced.
Yeah.
And I would say one of the big things that I get in my own workshop is people that spray a lubricant into the mechanism of a clock, which is the worst thing ever. Please don't be tempted to do that. There are right and wrong places to oil. And if you're not mechanically minded, don't even think about taking a clock or watch apart, because you will cause more damage than good.
Suzie, thank you so much.
Returns tomorrow at 8 p.m. BBC One, the iPlayer. Suzie, Steve, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.